G'day guys, what's going on? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing well. Man, today's exciting because we're finally going to crank over my RB25 fully forged build. It's been a painful 6 months because work on this engine in the rain, taking it to the engine shop, working in the backyard under the carport, and then working on the S14 as well. If you guys don't know, if you're a new viewer, go down my video list, you'll see that I built my RB25 S14 in 1 month. I booked a drift event at Keeper Reed and my S14 was far from ready, so I spent that whole 1 month that I had of free time while this engine of the RB25 was at the engine shop. I had time to work on the S14, so in 1 month I got it all drift ready, took it to the track, and I'll be at Keeper Reed January 24th in the S14. Anyway, back to the R33. I'll show you guys what I've done around the motor. I'll show you guys me working on the R33 motor as well, and then finally we're going to crank it over. So quickly I thought I'd show you what's going on. I made sure that there's oil pressure, it's all good. We've got no coolant leaks, no oil leaks, no fuel leaks anywhere. Overall, the RB25 is really healthy, so we're gonna walk around, show you guys the engine, what's going on, and then I'll show you guys me working it, and then hopefully we turn it over. So first off, we've got the Hypergear Turbo. This is the ATR45 SS ball bearing. It also has a T51 R mod, so it's going to do that whistle sound. And then I'm running no blow-off valve on my intercooler pipe, so it's going to dose really loud as well. So it's going to be sick to hear that whistle with the turbo floater. Then we've got my dump pipe. Then we've got the external gate pipe that goes down there with the external gate, with the screamer pipe. Then we've got this full 3-inch exhaust system to a Varex cannon. We've got Bosch 1000cc injectors, fuel pressure regulator. We've got a Heltec ECU. A built RB25 motor with Tomei pond cams in the head, Supertech valve springs, shitty coil packs. These are Spitfires. I've got to change these up eventually soon. Then we've got Blitz Racing radiator. So a lot of work has been done. Then the intake air temp sensor, I had to rewire this. It was a pain in the ass to rewiring, because if you guys are new to this channel, I hate wiring. It's just the most thing I hate. Then run the intake air control valve pipes, the intercooler. Then this nice intercooler piping here. I got to move this to here. I've got a new part of this I'll show you guys later. So this is the power steering reservoir I was talking about. It's Aeroflow. It's originally for an LS, but we're going to custom make a bracket to sit here, somewhere about there, and then run the lines from the front down. Down to there. So grab those hoses and reroute them to here. So it's going to look sick sitting there instead of, like, you know, right next to the turbo getting hot. So it's going to be away from the turbo, nice and tucked right there. So I've just chucked on some engine lube, so that way when I turn the motor over, the camshafts won't have to, you know, be metal on metal. So the shit you just saw there is the Penrite assembly lube. So I chucked that all along the camshaft, so that way when you turn over the motor, you know, at the time the oil builds up, this will help turn the camshafts on the hydraulic lifters, because it'll be metal on metal. This will help because the lube will keep it all nice and lubricated till the engine oil gets all around. And the reason why you want proper seals for the valve cover gaskets is because there's a lot of pressure, and you don't want like oil and air shit seeping out of the gasket, going along down to the side of your motor, making it all greasy and dirty. That's why when I stripped my engine apart, my engine was so filthy. It was just dirty as. It was just pretty much grease, slime, sludge, just all gross shit all around the engine, because people that own RBs, a lot of them don't tend to replace gaskets and that. So over time, over years and years of abuse, shit just slowly starts seeping out, causes build up in areas, and that's bad. You don't want that on your RB engine, so make sure to refresh your RB engine. That's why I went all out on this build. When you rebuild your engine, make sure to get your valve covers acid bath, because look how clean this shit looks. Alright, so I've got everything all done pretty much on top of the head. So I pretty much put all the valve covers back on, put the cooler pipe back on. All I got to do left is pretty much wrap up the exhaust manifold. I got to put some heat wrap around it because I don't want shit catching on fire. Don't want things getting extra hot around, you know, front part of the turbo, because I want cold air around here. And also with the new coil pack harness, I'll show you. I don't know, this company is really good. It's a really nice design. Have a look. So I got it connected all to the coil packs, but it's too long. Look how it sits all around there, and then I've had to bend this part, the plug-in, up here. Usually it sits there, and now with this braided water line, I'm gonna have to put like a heat shield sleeve over it so it doesn't, you know, rub up against the wiring and burn it. So I gotta cover that. What else I gotta do? Gotta put the oil catch can, gotta bolt down the turbo after I do the heat wrap on the exhaust manifold. So, and I also gotta heat wrap the dump pipe because I don't want more hot air going around all the wiring and, you know, around the intake stuff. So make sure everything is proper done. So at this point now, everything is pretty much done. I just gotta do the heat wrap to the exhaust manifold and the dump pipe, bolt down the turbo after, you know, heat wrap everything. Make sure everything is all nice, you know, make sure there's no loose bolts, loose nuts, loose wiring, make sure everything's a-okay. Chuck in all the coolant, chuck in all the oil, and finally chuck in some fresh E85 and start that sucker up. So it's starting to spit right now, and I know it's just going to catch up with a bit of rain, so I'm going to take off the turbo later. Hopefully it calms down in a couple of hours. I'm going to go watch the basketball because San Antonio Spurs is the team I go for, and they're playing with the Milwaukee Bucks today, so I'm going to go watch that because it's halftime at the moment. Come back to this, take the turbo off, heat wrap the 6-boost manifold, chuck on the turbo, chuck on the fittings, chuck in the fluids, and hopefully start that sucker off. I should mention I changed my clutch cylinder slave. I got like a bigger one, and I got a GK Tech braided clutch line as well, so I got to install the clutch line. I also got to bleed the clutch fluid as well, so that's going to be a pain in the ass to do myself, so I might call a mate to come over and help me bleed the clutch so that way I can change gears. So I'm currently doing a test trial fit with the heat wrap on the exhaust manifold, and I forgot to wear gloves, so now I can feel all the spiky shit from the wrap stinging my hand right now. So I'm gonna go grab some gloves and then come back and wrap the rest of all the shit. It's gonna be hard to wrap a lot of the spots back here, so I'm gonna put you guys down on time lapse and we'll exhaust wrap this manifold. So I didn't have any other gloves, so these are the ones I've got from the kitchen, and right now I can feel all the shit from the heat wrap stabbing my fingers right now, and it's bloody annoying. It's killing me at the moment. So I'm gonna put you guys down on a time lapse and we'll film installing this heat wrap on the manifold. God damn it. Trying to wrap up the shit everywhere, it's just fraying everywhere, so I've just got all the heat wrap fray just pretty much flying everywhere around. Fucking shit stabbing me. I'm over it, man, and trying to metal zip tie this side has made it slip off, so now I'm gonna have to fucking zip tie it again. I'm just over this shit. So I'm done for heat wrapping right now. I'm just over this shit. Like, it's just slowing me down. I want to start this car up already. I'm sick of shit like this slowing me down, as I've said like a million times. I've done the front pipe here. I still got to do that side. I was going to do that, but it's just too complicated getting the heat wrap in there and trying to fiddle around. I still got to do the dump pipe last, so I'm just going to chuck the turbo on, chuck all the fittings on, and then I'll heat wrap the dump pipe last, because I don't really give a shit about wrapping the rest of the manifold anymore. This is just a pain in the ass. So where the turbo is, at the bottom there's the oil drain. So this is the oil drain hose that goes back to the bottom of the block. I've just chucked a heat shield sleeve on it, and for the remaining part of it, what was left, I just chopped it up and chucked it on this water braided line so it doesn't touch up against the wires there for the coil pack harness. So that should be sick. I don't have to go and buy another $50 worth of heat shield sleeves, so I've just used that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the banjo bolt just snapped into the core of the turbo. Yep, just more headaches now. So now I gotta take the turbo off again, take it somewhere to get that banjo bolt snapped. So where the banjo bolt snapped, I have to go get that taken out now. So more time slowing me down. You know what's funny? This whole build, I've had no issues putting it all together. It's been perfectly fine. Dropped the engine in myself. The only things that have been slowing me down is like the dumb heat wrap shit, all the fittings, fitting the hoses, all that crap. Those are the only things that have been slowing me down. The rest of everything else has been okay. It's just, for some reason, you think fittings, oh yeah, just straightly bolt on. No. Oh, now I'm gonna have to get this turbo fucking... Actually, with a bit of luck, oh my god, look. It's coming out. Sorry for the neighbor's lawnmower. There we go. it is out. This is steel, by the way. I don't know how steel snapped so easily. I barely put any pressure onto tightening it. I just tightened it, I heard like a click, and then I could go more freely as a great. Any bet the banjo bolt snapped, and it did, and I'm so glad I got it out. I can actually relax now. Whew, fucking stupid thing. Ah, finally. I've got the cooler pipe set down there. I want to quickly say with the vacuum hose that you run from the cooler pipe to the external gate. So you run one vacuum line. I was going to do the fitting up here where I can see where I've marked it. Right there. So I was originally going to have the hose come out from there to the external gate and run it along the wall, nice and hidden. But what I've done is I've put the fitting underneath so you won't be able to see it. So if I put the camera down here, I can fit it. I don't know if you guys could see there's a fitting there, so I can chuck on a vacuum hose from there to the external wastegate. And I'm not going to use a boost controller, I'm just going to use it from my Haltech, so that's going to be fine. So hopefully it's all good. Fixed up this, chucked on another banjo bolt, got that nice and tightened down, didn't snap thankfully. And with this, as I said before, it's too big, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to replace it with a thinner one. Chuck this one here, so this is a 5/8 hose for the power steering line. And where the power steering is, I'm not using the stock one anymore, so what I'm going to do is I've got this Aeroflow squared box kind of power steering reservoir. I'll show you guys that soon. We're going to put it here, so I'm going to get Bevan that did all the intercooler piping, just get him to make a bracket for me, because we're going to chuck on the power steering reservoir here, and then we're going to run a line to here, chuck some heat shield sleeve on that as well, even though I've got it wrapped up the exhaust manifold. If you can see, it's nice and wrapped so it won't burn the hose for the power steering lines. Oh my god, this build has been a complete headache. But when I start this car tomorrow, yes, I'm hoping to start the car tomorrow and finally hear this bloody thing run for once. So I'm going to continue this video tomorrow. Alright, so continue on from yesterday. I've just chucked in old gearbox oil using this pump again. I've used this pump on the S14 and I counted maybe about 1,090 pumps it takes to get 3 liters into a gearbox with this pump. I'm so over it, but this is the gearbox oil that I use. I use it in the S14. When I was on the track, it was actually really smooth, so the packaging doesn't lie. So thank you, Penrite. I only use Penrite oils in both my cars, especially in this. And for the engine oil, I'm going to be using running in oil. This is just to pretty much clean out the motor. Do a couple dyno runs with this oil, and then we're going to drain it all out, chuck in the Racing Tense oil in, new oil filter as well. This is just to, you know, clean out all the crap from inside the motor and all that shit. So it's going to be sick to see this car running. Oh, I'm getting excited. So I'm just going to chuck in the oil right now. I've chucked in the coolant. All I got to do is just chuck in the running in oil. And I should say, and I should also say, with the oil filter, I've decided just to chuck the oil filter in. I bought a Mission Moto oil sandwich filter plate. What that is I can run 2 sensors, so I can run an oil temp sensor, oil pressure temp gauge as well, but I'm not going to be running those two. Do you know why? Because I've decided I'm not going to go with the gauges anymore. I've decided time to go with the Haltech screen, so I'll be running a Haltech screen in my R33, take out these gauges and put them in my S14. So my S14 will be running the gauges, this will be running the Haltech dash screen, so that way I can monitor everything right in front of me. I'm pretty wrecked because I just cranked over the motor by hand because I had to fight the compression because I've got the spark plugs tightened down. I should have done that with the plugs out, but you know what? Look, the plugs are done, the coil packs are done, it's all plugged in, everything is all plugged up, all the fittings are done. Oh my god, it's time to crank it over. Also disconnected the CAS, so I'm going to put it in prime, make sure there's no fuel leaks, give it a few cranks with it disconnected from the CAS, so that way all the coolant and oil flows around through the motor and turbo. That's why I thought I'd manually crank it first, so that way there's not too much tension when you go to use the ignition. And then I'm going to put the CAS back in, and then hopefully it starts. So I'm going to quickly chuck in some fresh E85 in the fuel tank because I've drained the fuel tank. So chuck in the fresh E85, have this disconnected, turn it over a bit, and then hopefully it starts. Oh my god, I'm so hoping this thing starts. I'm panicking right now. So as you guys can see, I've got the remote for my muffler. How crazy is that I can control the valves with the remote key? Because I don't have one of those cigarette 12-volt lighter things in my car, I removed it when I did my gauges. I've just had to run the wire from underneath all the way to the Varex module here. and then run the power to my Ford. So I got my Ford powering up the barracks. And the reason why I did that is because I want to leave my exhaust open for now, so that way when I start my car, I want to hear what it sounds like with the exhaust valve open. So that's hopefully my car starts right now. I want you guys to witness it with me. To tell you the truth, I'm actually petrified. I'm actually really nervous about this. It's just a lot of time and money has gone into this build, and I really hope that this thing turns over. I just want to hear this thing run, and if it runs, I'll be so happy. Let it prime one more time. Alright, let's start it up. Whoa, why the fuck was it revving out that much? Holy shit, it was just revving out way too much. I gotta figure that out. I think I fixed the issue. I fixed the plugging on my intake air temp sensor and the idling went down, but it's still loud. Even with the valve open, like listen to how loud that is. That's the valve open, so that's why I went and got a barracks cannon so that way I can close it. Press the throttle that much. It's just that my hydraulic lifters are very noisy at the moment because there's no oil going to them yet. Let the oil build up in there, it'll quiet down. I'm just going to quickly put you guys down. I'm going to make sure there's no oil leaks or coolant leaks. So I've just gone over the car. There is no coolant leaks, no oil leaks, no fuel leaks anywhere around the ejectors or the fuel hoses. Luckily, checked around the turbo, no leaks. What I gotta do is I gotta go over the car now. It has been a tough battle trying to get this thing to where it is now, and I'm hoping that, you know, everything goes okay till the next video. So the next video, hopefully you guys see this get tuned. So I want the next video of this car to be tuned. So the time that you guys are watching this video, I'm pretty much going to be spending my time fixing up all this, make sure everything is neat and ready for the dyno, because I want the next video of this car to be hitting boost, having fun on the dyno, and actually going out for a nice drive. So I realized as I was editing the videos that I need more video footage of the car running because I didn't get that much footage. It's just mainly working on the car. So let's add some more of my RB25 running. So let's start it up. Alright. Usually it revs up a bit loud, then it like tones down a bit. So I'm gonna let my engine warm up for a little while. Should give it about a couple of minutes. E85 smell like. Oh, it's so good to smell the E85 again. Smells good. Just check the engine. Oh, and I gotta run catch cans as well. Yeah, my lifters are still noisy as hell. I gotta check up on that, but here's my engine running. Thank you guys for the supportive messages and comments you guys leave for this channel, and especially on my Instagram. Right now I got to spend time, as I said, going over everything, make sure everything's okay with the tune. So thank you guys so much for watching this build. It's not done yet. Once the dyno's done, we can finally start having some fun and actually start clutch kicking this car around. Can't wait to take this car on the tow gate and actually have some fun around corners, going sideways, hitting boost, hearing the external gate setup as well. So I'm really keen to see how this car sounds with the full setup. Hopefully very soon start hitting boost again. Thank you guys very much, and if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Catch you guys later.